Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting Minecraft video. I am Tyken, and as some of you may have noticed, I am currently using Tydoku. Thanks mostly in part to Kenny, who as well as recently collaborated with Bloody Toast, and myself decided to join the fray in bringing this texture to 1.14. As you can see, there's still going to be a lot of work to do, especially a lot of blocks that are currently missing, and this pack honestly just needs a lot of love that it never got in the day. With three of us working on it, it should be a lot easier. However, we can use your help. If you have any skills at all, whether it be textures, animation, 3D models, anything you can do to throw some support our way would help get this texture pack on its feet and make it amazing. Of course, you'll be fully credited in the credits section, as well as just honestly be appreciated. You would be making this texture pack as glorious as possible. If you do want to support us, feel free to join the Discord, which is in the description below. We have a section off channel just for discussing textures and submitting ideas. And yeah, if any of you can help with anything, including suggestions and ideas, or in other words, just general feedback, like if you see our textures, you're like, oh, that looks good, but it could be a little darker, needs something. Anything helps, so feel free to help out. Greatly appreciate it. Now, I'm going to show off a few things that we've currently done, or at least I've done. I don't know who's done what specifically. I've just kind of taken their collaborative efforts and then added my own. The first thing I did was change the grass a little bit better, so that it's just a little brighter green. It was originally the dark green colored grass because of essentially the overlay. How that works is it takes a white texture and then applies a green color to it so you can do different biomes and such. And it just glitched out really badly, so I fixed that. I made the earth of the dirt block as well as the grass block a little bit darker and more earthy, so it looks a lot like a cartoonish earthy color, and it looks more like an actual dirt color. Might still need to tweak that a little bit, but I think it looks fine as is. Besides that, I've also personally been working on new spruce doors. I kind of wanted like a really nice, thick wooden door like this, and it still needs some work, but I think it looks pretty good as is. I've also got into some 3D modeling using Blockbench, and I made full-sized pressure plates, which I think look phenomenal, especially if you put a bunch of them next to each other. It's really hard to tell if there's pressure plates in front of you. You can still tell, so you can still look around to see if there's a trap waiting for you, but it's a lot less obvious, and it looks a lot better when you're using it for decorations, because it doesn't look like just a single little button on the floor. It actually looks like a panel that presses down. On top of that, I also reworked the item frames, so they are almost an entirely full block size. I reduced it slightly for some reasons I'll discuss in a moment, but you can kind of see now that you can actually show off a block a lot better and not be confined to a tiny little frame. It also looks better in general. Of course, we can change the texture and the background fairly easily. It's just more the size and shape that I kind of want to show off. Over here, I want to redo the spruce door and trap door a little bit, so it kind of looks like it's continued, because I've seen a lot of interesting builds where it looks like one big door because they put the two main doors in the middle and a bunch of trap doors to make it look like a bigger door, and I kind of want to do that with this as well. But as it stands, it doesn't look too bad, especially just on their own. It looks pretty spiffy, I think. Besides that, I also did some other interesting things, such as I took the grayish blue granite that Kenny made, and I added some kind of white veins to it to kind of look almost marbly, since a lot of granites are used in place of marble, and I think it looks a lot better. It definitely needs to be refined a little bit better. It definitely looks like a very rough stone, which looks fine, especially in the wild, but it definitely could use some help, so I'm gonna work on that. Also, fun thing I've done is because the pressure plates or because the item frames are bigger, and because I've modified the pressure plates, you can now put item frames underneath pressure plates without any Z fighting. If you don't know what that is, it's when two textures are on the same level, essentially, and they're fighting to see which one shows. So with this, you don't have any Z fighting on any of the sides, and now you can essentially place an item, put a pressure plate under it, and it looks like you have an item on your table. In this case, I kind of try to make it look like I have a cutting board. You can also do it right here, although it doesn't show off as well unless you use a different color, but the idea is there. Another interesting idea is if you step on any kind of pressure plate, it pushes down. However, I want to say gold as well as all of the wooden ones stay pressed down, so it kind of looks like you have a framed item on a countertop. If you want to be like have like a showcase for like a blacksmith or something, you're like, okay, these are all the items laid out and they're perfectly framed. Like, hey, pick what items you want. Of course, some of the items look weird if you step down on them. However, if you just don't, it kind of looks like you have a book sitting on a countertop. Nice little details you can add now because of that. For instance, over here, I also put spruce pressure plates underneath, or I guess technically on top of the item frames, and step down. So now it looks like I have some little wooden bowls or plates right here for my steaks. You have your cups, you have your bowls. Looks pretty good considering the limitations of Minecraft. Definitely could use some of those in vanilla Minecraft, but you know what? It's good enough for now. There are a few other things that we've been tweaking, but nothing really worth showing off yet. A lot of just general additions and changes. So again, if you want to support us, help us out, feel free to join our Discord and offer whatever help you can. I look forward to it, and I hope to see you guys soon.